Before I get into today's video, remember to follow me on Twitter. So my Twitter, the link is in the description below. You can also find me. My handle is @JacksonKruger. Come over, say hi, and anyways, back to your regularly scheduled video. All right, so let's talk about what went wrong for the Green Bay Packers. Kind of a weird game. Really, what went wrong for the offense? I feel like I'm making one of these videos every week at this point. It's been a little bit tough. Offensively. And I think that, the reality is people are going to blame Rodgers. He is the quarterback. But when guys aren't getting open and your offensive line isn't blocking, sure, there's maybe things you could point towards with him as well. But as a whole, I don't think it's fair to put a lot of it on him. Let's talk about what's going wrong. And, one thing we have to do as well is give credit to the Jets, all this stuff. But let's just get into it. So the play you see on the screen is going to be a zone coverage play. We didn't see a ton of zone by the Jets, which was fascinating because, one of the narratives going in was, would the Jets play a lot more zone or man in this game? We just saw how much the Packers struggled against man coverage last week. And so we did see a lot of man, but this is zone, and the Packers have a great concept against zone. This is Matt LaFleur scheming it up perfectly, right? This is kind of what we talked about heading into the season was, okay, yes, the Packers aren't going to have a lot of great receivers, but they have a head coach who can scheme guys open. The issue is, as you see, Rodgers looks in that direction, tries to fire to the open receiver or potentially open receiver on the concept that was schemed open, but the ball pops out because he gets hit. And when you're not blocking, sometimes this is going to happen, and that's an issue because, okay, great, you scheme someone open, but it doesn't matter because you weren't able to block long enough to get that play to develop. So this is one thing that has definitely been hurting them so far through 6 weeks offensively, is guys are not getting open as consistently. And even when guys are getting open, they're not hitting them. Something like this. This is a play that has to be a completion. It just does. It's a man coverage play. So this is a lot of what we expected to see going in, or what we thought might happen going in. It's a coverage that the Packers are just struggling with right now. Single safety deep. You have Aaron Jones on the outside against a linebacker, one-on-one matchup deep down the field. These are the situations that you're going to have to try and hit. Look at how when this play begins, you're going to see that, it's looking like it's about to get open. It's going to get more open. We know this now, but it's looking like it's about to get open because Jones and the linebacker are currently right with each other. It's going to be a foot race. Jones is probably going to win that foot race. So you feel pretty good if you're Aaron Rodgers right now. This feels like an underthrow to me. Look at how Jones gets all that separation. He does have to go back a little bit to make the catch. Still probably should have made the grab, though, so I don't think it's fair to completely blame Rodgers for it. It probably is fair to put some blame on Rodgers and then some blame on Jones. Both Aarons there deserve some blame, but I think there's no doubt about it here, in my opinion, is that this is just a play that has to be complete. You have to find a way to hit these more consistently. It's not like to hit none of them. Like right over here, it's going to be the exact same play where it's going to be a cover one play. This time it's not Aaron Jones who's going to be your number one receiver. It's going to be Allen Lazard. But look at how when Rodgers takes a snap and it doesn't look right away because makes sure the safety does not get over. Good little stuff there by Rodgers getting the safety not over there. But at this point, it's still not open. Rodgers is not throwing to guys who are getting consistently open. And this is definitely just a big issue with the Packers right now, is that they're just not hitting these consistently enough. And even when they are hitting these, it's looking tough. Look at Rodgers' great throw, back shoulder. That's a thing of beauty right there. That's a great play. He saw the situation, saw how he was going to have to get it open, and then threw it perfectly to where he needed to be. This is a next level type play. This is how he's coming off of back-to-back MVPs. This is a great play by Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, and that's the issue with the Packers, is that you're relying on your MVP quarterback to make great plays. He'll make some great plays. You want him to make some great plays, and you expect him over the course of a game to make great plays, but you can't be relying on him consistently to be making great plays. No quarterback in the NFL can do that. I'm going to go over to this play, because this play is just a great microcosm of what happened the entire game for the Green Bay Packers and why they were struggling. It's kind of just a funny play too, so let's talk about it. First, what's happening here is it's going to be I don't have to break down the entire play. It is going to be a zone coverage play, so that's what's happening, but really what's more important is just the way that Rodgers is going to read this play. Look at how when the play begins, he looks over towards his left. He's looking towards the receiver in that direction, but there's not much separation right here. It's good defense, so okay. Not going to throw it there, but okay, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's not someone who will lock on to one read and never make a decision. No, he says, let's try to figure something else out. Let's look in a different direction. Rodgers decides to then look over the middle, and at this point, we can't really see exactly what's going on, but he doesn't like what he sees, and you know what? The way that the Jets are playing this, it makes sense. They're playing very far deep. They're not giving up much. The 1st and 16 certainly helps with that, so at this point, Rodgers isn't going to make that throw either. It's good defense by the Jets, because again, Jets do cover well. Like, that's one thing that we have to mention. The Jets have been covering well. On top of this, Packers don't get open too well, so that's a tough combination for Rodgers. So finally, Rodgers goes over, hits the check down, and the check down drops it. There were some drops in this one. Just a tough situation by the Packers, I think. As a whole, with all of these drops, part of me feels like the drops will start to correct themselves, right? The drops aren't going to continue. You will get better. You won't have to deal with these drops as consistently. You would assume. Who knows? But you would assume that that's going to at least correct itself to some degree. Yes, drops are somewhat in control. There are players who drop more. There are players who drop less, of course, all that stuff. But as a whole, game in and game out, there's a bit of a flukiness to those types of things. So is that a long-term concern? I don't think it's a long-term concern. But what is a long-term concern is their inability to get open consistently. We're now seeing this being a growing trend that Green Bay has just struggled with getting guys open. And the more you struggle with getting guys open, the more Aaron Rodgers is going to look bad, the more Matt LaFleur is going to look bad, the more the team is going to look bad. I mean, one thing I always say is that, it's kind of similar to how in baseball, every manager that has a great bullpen looks good because whoever they put in, that guy gets the strikeout and they get out of the inning. In football, every offensive coordinator with a good receiving core looks good and a bad receiving core looks bad because, if guys are getting wide open, you give credit to the coordinator. And if guys aren't getting wide open, well, then everyone says, oh my God, what Matt LaFleur, what is he doing? A quarterback, what are you doing? That's what people say. But the reality is, there's too much going on right now that's wrong with this Packers offense. It's not the quarterback's fault, in my opinion. It's not the head coach's fault, in my opinion. It's basically everything else. So that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the Green Bay Packers and their struggles? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.